Just really excited about it, obviously. I mean, you know, you hate to have them end with rain like that, but you know, I've lost some that way, and you know, the good thing is we didn't back into the lead, you know, because we stayed out and never, you know, the leaders came in. I mean, we were leading this thing and had earned that spot. So proud of that. I feel bad for Denny and Darian, you know, to have a car that strong, and you know, it was a hard call for, and I know it was hard for Steve and for all the other crew chiefs. I mean, we're kind of sitting on the west edge of this cell, and it looked like it was all going to go north, but we just kind of caught the edge of it, but you didn't know if it was going to go away or if it was going to keep building, and you know, you hate to see guys lose spots like that pitted, but you know, I was proud of our day. I mean, and I made a mistake in qualifying on Friday, and you know, I think we were going to be a top 3 car in our qualifying run if I wouldn't have got sideways on the outlap, so I lost a lot of time to the line. But you know, our car drove really, really well in traffic, and felt like it was real maneuverable as far as being able to move to different spots on the racetrack than other guys were at, and you know, I felt like we could move around when some of the other guys seemed to be a little more line committed. But just really proud of this guy sitting to my left. I mean, Steve did an awesome job all day of you know, the changes that he made. I mean, every time he changed something, the car really responded well to it, and that's when you know you got a really good race car under you, when you can make little changes and it makes a big difference. So he just did an awesome job. Every run we got better and better and better, and even if it went, you know, even if we went back to green, you know, I felt like we still had little ways to go to get it perfect, but you know, I was confident we were definitely, Steve was going in the right direction, no doubt. So you know, I felt like we still had more that we could gain on it and would gain on it as the day went. So you know, either way, whether it rained or didn't rain, I felt confident that we had a car that was capable of you know, for sure running in the top 3, and definitely had a great shot at winning, I think.
Joining Tony up here at the table is Steve Addington, crew chief for the team. Steve, this is Tony's 46th victory, and he tied Buck Baker for 14th on the all-time list today, and currently sits 4th in points. How do you feel as a crew chief and being part of that history making today?
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. That's really neat, and glad that I'm part of it. But no, it's been a real enjoyment in my life to get involved with this race team, with the people that you know, Tony and Gene and Eddie and Brett and them guys have put in place here, that just really love to come to work and work on race cars and enjoy going to the racetrack. And thank Hendrick Motorsports for giving us great chassis and great engines, and our guys that hang the bodies on them and put them together do an awesome job. And it's really nice to be with an organization like this.
Also joining Steve and Tony is Gene Haas, owner of the number 14. Gene, talk a little bit about you being here today and winning this race with Tony and Steve.
Well, it's always a lot of fun to win races. I'm really happy with you know, the changes that we made last year at Stewart Haas Racing. I think you're starting to see the results. You know, Tony's a great driver, and you know, I've always told everybody on the team that if Tony's not winning, we're not doing our job. We're not giving him a car he needs, because if the car's right, Tony can win at any track, anywhere. So I think this is just showing the results that you know, we really have a great team now. You know, Tony rolls off the haulers fast, and they spend a little bit of time tweaking the cars and getting them right. And the result is that, you know, we are going to be competitive at every track we go to now.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions. We'll start here in the driver meeting room before we head to the other media outlets. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you, and we'll start here with David.
David Caravella, NASCAR.com. Tony, we know what you can do in the summertime. We've seen what you can do in the chase. You ever been this strong this early?
Not in this series. You know, it's been nice to get off to a good start this year the way we have, and you know, like you said, the history shows, you know, the last 13 years we have not had the strongest starts the first third of the year, but you know, I'm really excited about the start that we've got going. You know, we've been strong everywhere we've been. I mean, Daytona was probably our weakest race, and I think I know I made decisions that trying to make things happen and didn't work out, but it wasn't because our cars weren't good. So, we've had top 10 cars and top 5 cars every race so far this year after that. So, really proud of what Steve and all of our guys at Stewart Haas Racing have done. And like Steve mentioned, I mean, this is places like California and Michigan here are big horsepower tracks, and really proud of the Hendrick engine department. I mean, they've worked really hard, and they're really doing a good job with this EFI system. So proud of that, and really appreciative of Gene and giving us the confidence to do what we do each week.
Any more questions here in the driver meeting room? Okay, we'll take it to the media center. Any questions?
Yes, Jim Alexander of the Riverside Press Enterprise. Tony, two-part question. Number one, how did the approaching rain affect your strategy, pit-wise and otherwise on the track? And number two, describe that little move that you made on Denny Hamlin that deked him into the pits.
I doubt very seriously that we suckered him on the pit road, so to speak. I mean, I'm sure him and Darian had their mind made up before they got there, but honestly, as far as the strategy with the weather coming, it's all Steve Addington, and he gets the credit for that because he's the one that has to. It's hard. I mean, I wouldn't want to have to sit there and guess on when this rain's coming, but Steve kept me informed of what he was seeing on the radar, and it didn't really change what I was doing behind the steering wheel, but it's obviously nerve-wracking for all the crew chiefs, and especially when it starts off as light as it did. I mean, it's a hard call to make, whether you know that if it goes back to green, you might have put yourself in a hole, but if you have a scenario like we had today, it's just hard to know exactly what to do, and you got to have that confidence. And Steve said stay out, and I didn't question it. We stayed out, and the drops kept getting bigger and bigger, and obviously when we pulled on pit road, they had definitely lost the track by that point. So it just was. It would be a lot easier for all the crew chiefs today if the cell just came straight at us. But if you watch the radar, it was we were on the west side of that front that was going through, and a lot of it was just going north, across the west side. So, or we were on the east side of it, I guess. But it was so close to not getting us or getting us, but it just makes it nerve-wracking for guys, and that's why 6 of them came and pitted. You don't know 100% what that weather's going to do. So I would say Steve can answer that question better than me. I know I wouldn't want to have to be in that position, and these crew chiefs, they earn their money for sure by having to make these kind of calls, and it's difficult, and it's nice being in the driver's seat, not having to worry about it and letting somebody else take that responsibility.